So good day everyone. So today I'm gonna discuss a simple C code that can print a number 1 to 10 and also can check if the inputted number is a even and odd number, then print a simple phrase or line which is hello Arduino, then print array of 5, print the elements or the value inside that array, then on and off that uses a variable. So first, in this code, so I'm using a function for different tasks. So as you can see here, we have a void. So in all our function, we are using a void type since we are not expecting a return value. So first task, so we are tasked to print number 1 to 10. So we use a for loop to print each value. So in a for loop, so there's three parts. So first part is the initialization, so that is the int I equals to 1. Then the next part is the condition, so where we set the I is less than or equals to 10. And the next part is the iteration part, where we add 1 in every loop. So we print our value, so then we loop, we add 1, so the int I becomes 2. Then again print the number 2. So same process until it reaches the condition, which is the less than or equal to 10. After it reaches the 10, it will stop the loop, so it will print 1 up to 10. So for our next function, which for our next task, which we check the number if it's even or odd. So in this function, we have a void again, then check even or odd. Then we have a one parameter, which is int num. Then inside that function, we have a if else statement. So in if, so num modulo 2 is equals to 0, so that print as an even number, and else an odd number. So in modulo, so basically if the number is divided to 2 is equals to 0, so that means it's a even number. So that's for the next part, check even and odd number. So for the next function, which is greet, we have void, then name greet. So basically it prints a praise, which hello Arduino. So next function is the print array. So in this function, we are tasked to create a array. So we have an array of size 5, and inside of that array we have a value 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So we are tasked to print each value inside that array. So print array elements, so new line, so every time we print new line, so it will printed vertically. So we are using the for loop again in this, so we can access the every value inside the array. So int I initialize, int I is equals to 0 since in an array, so index starts at 0. Then next is the condition, so I is less than to 5, so it stop at 5. So the last value is 4. Then the next part is the iteration, so add plus 1 in every loop. So next one is print every element, so it starts with 0, it prints 10, so up to last or until the condition is not failing, then it will print every element or the value inside the array. So that's for the print array. So the next is the on and off. So in this function void, so we have an int toggle. So we have a variable here, so we have a value for toggle is equals to 0, so 0 indicating false or off. So we are using again the for loop here. So same flow for other for loops. So it checks initialize first the I int is equals to 0, then the condition I less than 5, then incrementation. So and every time we loop, so we add 1. So in this case, in this for loop, we have inside the for loop we add an if statement, if and else statement. So if toggle is equals to 0, so we print an off, then it set again the toggle value to 1, so it will become the toggle value will become 1, then we'll loop again, so the value for int I becomes 2, then loop, so it checks the if else statement. So since the value now is for the toggle is 2, then it will go to else, so it will print on, then same progress, same flow, so toggle becomes 0, so print off until the for loop condition will stop at 4 since it's less than. Now let's go to our main part, so the int main. So this is where we call the different function for each task. So first task is we have the print numbers 1 to 10, so new line. So we are calling the function, so print numbers. So this function contains the where we put the logic on how to print the numbers 1 to 10. So that in the discussion earlier where we discussed the each function. So the next function task is the check is the number is even or odd. So since in that function we are expecting one parameter, so as you can see here we have int num, then printf, so check if number is even or odd. Next is printf, so enter a number, then the scanf, this is where we input, then we put the r variable here, so num, then after that we call the function, so function where we check even or odd. So we put one argument here, so we put one variable num, so this is so we can check if that variable is even or odd, then we print this variable is even if the user inputted an even number, or odd if the user printed or selected an odd number. The next one is where we print the phrase or the sentence hello Arduino. So we call the function have name function name greet. Then for the next one is the task where we print the array elements, so we call the function name print array, then it will print the elements or the values inside that array. So the last task is the on and off, so toggle on and off, so we call the function toggle on and off, so it will print on and off. If the value of that toggle is 0, so it will print off, then if 1, then it will print on. So now let's see the output of our code. So as you can see here is the output of our code. So the first task, which we are tasked to print 1 to 10, so we are printed 1 to 10 vertically, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, so it's correct. So here are the function, so as you can see here it print condition up to 10. Since we set the initialize to 1, then and condition less than or equals to 10, so it stop at 10, then it starts at 1. So we initialize at 1, so it won't start at 0, so it won't make sense if it starts at 0. So the next one is we check if the number is even or odd. So we input 5, so the output is 5 is an odd number. Then the next task is greeting, so hello Arduino. And the fourth task is print array elements. So inside that elements we have a 10, 20, 40, 30, 40, and 50. So we print that all elements. Then the last task is toggle on and off. So first off, on, off, on, off. So since we set the first value to 0, so it starts with off, then on and off. So then let's try again on another outputs. Let's run this again. So we try an even number again, so if see if it is work. So we input here 2. So if enter, so as you can see it works. So 2 is an even number. So same output since we check only the task 2 if it works. So I think that would be all for the simple C code. Now let's go to another programming language, which is the C++. Basically this two language is basically the same, so it only differs the syntax and other functions. So here in C++, so it includes IOStream library, then using namespace std. So this using namespace std, so we don't have to constantly use the std in every our code. For example, the cout, so std cout, so that will take too much time. So here basically same, we have a function in every different task. So we have 5 function for our task. The first function print numbers, so it prints basically 1 to 10. So same as the C code, using for loop. Then the 3 parts, the initialization, the condition, and the increment. So in each loop add 1, then until the condition is not fail, then it will print the value of the I, so 1 to 10, basically print 1 to 10. So the next part is the function for checking the number if the number is even or odd. So same, one parameter int num. So in that function you have a if else statement. So num modulo 2, so if the number that the user inputted is equals to 0, or so that would be the number is even, else it's odd. So next function is the greet. So basically greet the cout, it prints a hello Arduino. Then next part is the print array. So same, we have a declare an array here, array of 5. Then inside that we have a value of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Then cout array elements. Then for loop, so we loop the element inside the array, and print the value of that. So basically it will print 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Then we have the last task, which toggle and off. Same logic, it will print on, off, on, off, on, off, on, so until the condition is not failing. So inside that for loop there is a if else statement that checks if the toggle is either 1 or 0. So if 0, it prints off, if 1, it prints on. So in every if else statement, so there is a toggle that set the value toggle to 1 if the if its value is 0, so it toggles back to 1, and vice versa. So in our int main, so same here, so we are calling the function. So here, see out the first task, so print numbers. So call the function, so we have the print numbers, that is the function name. Then so for the next function, so since we are expecting a one variable, one parameter, so int num, so see out, check if number is even or odd. Then we ask the user to enter number. Then cin, so input a number. Then call the function, so check even odd. Then we put a one argument, so we put the num. Then the next task is basically calling the function greet, so it will print the hello Arduino. Then the next task is printing the array, so it will print the elements inside that array. Then the last task is toggle on and off, so we call the toggle on and off function. So that would be all for the int main. So let's try to see the output of this code. So let's run this code. So run, compile and run. So let's wait. So here, as you can see, same output as the last programming language. So same, print 1 to 10. Then task 2, so input number, so it put 5. So 5 is an odd number, since if we divide that to 2, there's an 1, so it is an odd number. Then task 3, greeting, so hello Arduino. Then task 4, print the elements inside the array, so we printed the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So the last task is the on off. So basically same, it will print on if the toggle value is 1, and off if the value is 0. So that would be all for the simple code for the different programming language. So thank you.